Hi, this is Tom Blodgett from Jende Industries, and today I want to introduce our new ceramic sharpening rods, sharpening steels. We have two steels to choose from. One is white. This is a Mohs 9. It's more aggressive steel. And we have a black steel that is a Mohs 8, and it's a more densely packed steel, which is more of a finishing steel. What's different about these steels is that they have a anti-break tip. It's like a rubber tip here that covers it and stops it from breaking. Many ceramics will break. It also has anti-break technology in the handle to prevent it from breaking as well. So a lot of guys will toss it down. I don't suggest throwing it down, but tossing it down it'll hit the tip and land here and hopefully never break. So it's break resistant. The handles are kind of heavy too, stainless steel with a polypropylene grip, which gives it some weight, so it actually has some body to it as you're holding it and steeling it, rather than being very light in the handle. So this helps control as well. So the first question is, why two steels and what's the difference between them? The reason is when you're using your knife, the edge will most likely roll before it breaks or dulls. If you're using a softer knife, this is more so. Most of the knives that are out there are Rockwell 55-ish, which will roll before it breaks. But when you have some of the harder knives like these here, 60, 58, 60, they will chip before they dull. So the reason you would use a sharpening steel is to push the edge back or to just maintain it without needing a full sharpening session. So there's two rods here because the white rod is Mohs 9 and it's actually more aggressive. It's the steel is for more maintenance. If something's you need to slight repair or want to make sure that it's been a while since it's been sharpened and you need something on there, the white steel is going to be more aggressive than the black steel. The black steel, which is a Mohs 8, is more of a finishing steel, and you don't want it to remove that much material. You simply want it to put it back into position, but also have a nice even edge. The problem is with some of the metal rods, the metal steels, is that they're grooved or whatnot, is that they are oftentimes, if it's not a quality one, they'll be softer than the knives themselves, which doesn't do anything. And if they're harder than the steel in the knife, it actually rips the edge, creating a sawtooth, which is something that is unstable. It's not what you want. The better thing is to actually just abrade just a little bit and get that edge back into shape. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. All right, so to use the white steel, which is going to be the more aggressive steel, the trick is not to go fast. You don't have to go super fast like they do on TV. You want one well-placed stroke. You find your angle. Depending on the angle that it's sharpened at, is where you're going to keep the angle of the blade. You don't want to be too low because then you don't hit the edge. If you're too high, then your angle ultimately gets changed. So we want to find the proper angle, which will take some doing sometimes. But basically raise it there and a light, even stroke all the way down. Now, some people say you're not supposed to come back at you. Depends on where you're working, but I do. If it's a problem, then you can just flip it underneath and do the same thing. Find the angle, work away from you, away. And one or two well-placed strokes will generally refresh that edge. This is an aggressive steel. So then you don't need a lot of weight, because if you put too much pressure, it'll actually bend the steel back over, bend the knife back over the edge. So this is good for rougher steeling, initial steeling, if you want to do more maintenance style, and it creates a fresh edge. There's a little bead here at the edge of mine right now. I can see it just from those few strokes. So when you use the black steel, this is more of a finishing steel because it is more densely packed. Then it won't take away as much metal as the white steel does. So this is more of the everyday use one. This is what you're going to be using on your shift or using. This is the first steel you're going to take when you're using, if you're using both. So again, the same thing. Find your angle and just really a stroke or two, either towards or away, depending on what you prefer. Some people will put the rod straight down, find your angle, Pull your elbow back, same thing here. Okay, you don't need to go 100 miles an hour, okay? It's not TV. So, and basically you do this until this doesn't work anymore. Then you can come back and hit the white rod, which is again more aggressive, and you can switch back and forth. Ultimately though, you're going to make your edge too thick in the end, ultimately. And it will need to be taken to sharpening stones or a belt sander or a professional sharpener to just recreate the correct geometry so that you can continue steeling in between. All right, thank you.